Cities Skylines is the city builder we've all been waiting for when Simcity 5, also known as 2013, also known as cannot connect to the server simulator, failed us all. The team at Colossal Order basically took the concept of SimCity and fixed everything wrong with it. But saying that they basically patched SimCity would be doing them a great disservice, because to me it is so much more. Launch Cities Skylines, start up a new game by selecting a starting map, or if you're not satisfied with the choice, make your own using the built-in editor, or just browse the Steam Workshop. Yes, that's right. This game comes with full modding support from the day one and is highly encouraged, unlike SimCity. There are some preloaded mods available like unlimited cache, hard mode, and skipping the progression system. Speaking of which, I really like it. You slowly build up your city and unlock stuff once you reach a certain population. It gives you a lot of time to get used to the services, zoning, or just generally to the building system. I never felt overwhelmed by the game thanks to that, but I understand why some people would just love to have an option to start with everything unlocked. And I guess that's why it's placed in-game as a mod. Building and designing a city is also much better than SimCity, mostly due to a much better grid system and zoning. Well, that and SimCity did not have a grid system when placing zones. You were limited to placing them next to roads and guessing how much space they will take. In Cities Skylines, everything snaps to a grid, and when building new roads, you always have an indicator of where you can zone and plop down buildings. Most of your city design is built around the roads in the game, and man, I'm really surprised how complex you are allowed to make them. That being said, with all these complex possibilities, I resorted to grids in my city. Cause I love grids. They're so organized, symmetrical, and gritty. One complaint that I have is that there's no easy way of upgrading roads. You end up demolishing everything and rebuilding zones. It's not the best solution, but it gets the job done. But what's really interesting is what makes the city's heart tick: the agents. SimCity 2013 introduced the agent system, which in short based the whole city simulation around simulated people. They lived in their houses, commuted to work, generating actual traffic, went shopping, went to schools, and so on and so forth. In theory, that sounded great and realistic, but the execution sucked balls. Often you'd get conflicting messages from your people or not understand why some businesses are failing, and it would end up in frustration and not really knowing how to fix the situation in your city. Cities Skylines features a surprisingly deep agent system. Everything in the city has its place. People living there follow their daily routines, you can check where they work, live, what vehicles and animals belong to them. You can even follow them around too. They're not just a number on the bottom bar, the city becomes a living, breathing ecosystem. Not to mention they live through their full life cycle, from being kids going to school, to being adults working their day jobs after getting an education, to finally dying and being buried in a cemetery. And since the kids need to know their future, I placed a cemetery in front of the school. Yay! I love the way it works, and whenever a problem arose for my simulated people, I never felt that I had no idea how to fix it. I sometimes felt more like playing a god game than being a city mayor, which is really cool. One thing I don't like about agents, and is a pretty minor complaint, is that the city servers vehicles like ambulances, cop cars and fire trucks get stuck in the traffic. In a real-world scenario, other cars would make way for those, but not in Cities Skylines, which sometimes can cost you a burnt-down building. That said, it's fixable by better planning your roads, building public transport, or changing policies to reduce traffic. One thing I was worried about with all these agents was that the game would perform poorly. The game runs perfectly most of the time, sometimes has a hiccup and dips below 60 FPS, but it's nothing game-breaking. Have I mentioned also that the game looks fantastic from a distance? Just looking at your city in motion feels really rewarding. And if you really want to go in depth, you can zoom pretty far in to stalk the little puny humans living in your city, walking the dog or waiting for a bus. You can also install mods for free camera to go even deeper, or a ground level camera and walk around exploring your own creations. But for how long can you play before the fun stops and you run out of space to build? The answer is a freaking lot. You start off with a single square area that's already twice as big than the Simcity maps. But as you go, you unlock the ability to purchase adjacent lands and expand your city. Cities Skylines sets the bar when it comes to map size and the grandness of the whole thing. I mean, it's only been a few days and someone has already recreated the map of Los Santos using the game. That is really cool. And since the game is open to mods, I wouldn't be surprised if someone mods it so it can exceed the initial map size. You might have also noticed I keep on rambling on how SimCity 2013 failed and comparing Cities Skylines to it. Let's be honest, Skylines is a SimCity clone and a really good one. Even the way the interface is designed, color coding, the presentation, it is very similar. But it is a much better game in basically any aspect. It fixed all of SimCity's issues and expanded upon that. It is really good, and if you're thinking about picking it up and you were disappointed by SimCity, I think this will be a treat for you. The game sets a new standard for city builders, and for that I have to applaud the team at Colossal Order. Hey, thanks for watching. I do more reviews, so if you wanna see more of my reviews and enjoyed this kind of video, subscribe, like, and if you want to be updated on when next videos come out, follow me on Twitter. You can interact with me, talk to me, I don't bite. Yet. Thank you and bye bye.